You're listening to the Hope Shot Recovery Podcast. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. Man, see me and Cesar. Yo, listen, I'm sorry you guys can't see us, but Cesar's in the background, freaking getting down with the music. He's like, He had to have been there.
You definitely had to be there.
Had to be there. If you guys just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. Cesar, if you can read that clarity statement, my friend.
Oh, man, you caught me completely off guard. But here it is, the Hope Shot Clarity Statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common. Recovery is a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. And thank you for being a part of our Hope Shot family.
Thank you, Cesar. All right. So tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about freedom. And, you know, this has come up in a lot of things, and I should have wore the freedom shirt because we do have freedom shirts. But freedom is, it's a open-ended conversation about what freedom means to you. And, you know, since Mike is our guest, be our guest.
So freedom means a lot of different things. Obviously the easy one is freedom means I'm not in jail today. I'm not in handcuffs. I'm not at, 31 bottom counting trays and, doing funky stuff for honey buns and shit anymore. And but there's also a lot of, like, when you start working the program and you start doing step work and you start doing doing the deal, I started to get freedom from my own bullshit, from my old toxic behaviors, right? Like taking other people's inventory, freedom from causing chaos or excessive chaos in my own life. And then also, like, freedom from things being snowballing way out of control to the point where like it becomes unmanageable. So I missed court I had Zoom court. Who misses Zoom court? Like, how do you miss Zoom court? I was repiping a house and totally forgot I had court, and I somehow magically forgot. I literally forgot. So I freaked out, called everybody I know in the rooms, and everybody I know said, you're going to jail. Like 100%, you're going to jail. And Justin said, pray on it, just pray on it, and, pray for your freedom, and we'll see what happens. And I got blessed. He told me stuff happens, you're doing the right stuff and it shows. And I got lucky, man. Like, nothing even happened. He just said, have a good day. So, freedom for me means not having to worry about, covering lies and shit, covering up shady behaviors and old behaviors and trying to stack stuff up on the backside to make it work on the front. And then you got to remember what you told that one. Like, no, freedom means I don't have to live like that anymore. I can just be Mike and let things, stop worrying about the outcome, right? And worry about what I'm doing right now and making sure that that what I'm doing is aligning with who I want to be tomorrow. It also means that my kids don't have to worry anymore. Like, I got out of the program. I got out of ACE since the last time I was on here. I'm home now. I got my life back. I got my wife and I got my kids and everything that most things I lost or gave away during active addiction. And freedom today means that my kids and my wife don't have to worry when I'm in the bathroom for 7 minutes shaving my neck, and they don't have to panic because I'm behind a locked door, or they don't have to worry that I pulled up to a strange man's house that they don't know, not knowing that I'm there to do plumbing. I'm just there to do plumbing now. It means that they don't have to worry about whether or not dad's going to be around tomorrow or next week, or whether or not the cops are going to knock on the door or a van's going to pull up to take them in the other room with a clipboard and ask them 1,000 questions. They've been through enough shit, man. So freedom for me means I don't have to put my kids through that ever again. It also means when you're manageable, like when your life is manageable and things are going like they're supposed to, you don't have to you don't get so stuck in all the unmanageable shit. I guess that's redundant, but you don't get like you don't. For me, I've found that I'm not putting myself in all these positions where now I have to dig myself out because I'm not putting myself in that spot to begin with anymore. I'm not letting things snowball to the point where it becomes unmanageable. Stuff at work has been kind of wild. Um, I don't want to say too much, but you could say that it's become a pretty toxic environment where I'm working at. And a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have it would these conversations would have been very, very different than they are today. But freedom means that I don't have to prove a point today. I don't have to be the loudest guy in the room. I don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't, it's not my business, so it's not my business. I can unplug from it and do what I'm expected to, and stay above the radar, but below the drama, below the BS. And I see you, Steve. Steven is an ace senior now, so I'm super proud of Steve and all the ace guys. Um, that's another aspect of freedom for me is being able to go to whatever the hell meeting I want to now is something that you take for granted when you live in a program that you're not allowed to go to night meetings and you're not allowed to go to this meeting or that meeting. Freedom means I can go find the recovery I want. I can literally tailor make my own recovery, and to a certain degree, that sounds like I'm trying to be my own sponsor, and I'm terrible at that. But I've got the tools now that I can search it out. I can seek it out and make my recovery what I want it to be. And without freedom from active addiction, I don't have any of those things. I don't have a house. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I don't have a job. So meetings are just not even in that scope. But freedom is peace today, unlike anything I've ever had before. That's what I got.
Thanks, Mike, man. I appreciate you coming on here, man. I appreciate our conversations, man. Like, because that day, dude, I'm like, man, just shit happens. You know what I mean? And if you weren't, don't say you're lucky, because luck doesn't happen when you're doing the work. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't happen like that. You're doing the work. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You've changed who you are and how you handle shit. And that shows character. You've built that. You know what I mean? So it's not luck, my friend. It's not luck.
Yeah, it's definitely everything. Like, everything had to change. I had to change everything about what I was doing. So, and then I got 9 months today. Piss on drugs. I got my key tag. Yeah.
Congratulations, man. You're spending it with us. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I get to, it's one of the get tos. So in 3 months, I get to do my 1 year, and it's going to be a fucking celebration. I'm excited. So I'm bringing cake and we're going to party.
And no pants.
No pants. No, absolutely not.
No pants, all cake.
All cake, no pants.
Look, I'm gonna get shirts made that say "No pants, all cake." But
I like that.
But then Cesar, you'd have to come because between the two of us, you got way more cake than I do. I saw that, buddy. So,
baby cakes.
I'm working on that cake on the daily.
Let me read some comments real quick. We got Rowan in the house. What's up, Rowan? We got Lindsay. Look, freedom from bondage of self for me. Let's see. We got Soul Support says freedom to me is finally knowing myself. Oof. Freedom, and then Beth says freedom from me. Yes. We got Melissa's. I'm 29 months sober, and I have the freedom to be going on my first solo vacation in a couple weeks. No fear. These are the gifts of recovery. Congratulations, 29 months and first solo vacation. That right there alone is a hell of a step for people like us. Like, I have a lot of fear of doing stuff by myself. They always say you need to date yourself, right? You need to take yourself on a date and do things by yourself, because a lot of us are codependent, you know what I mean? And we don't like doing stuff. We're fearful of going anywhere solo, but congratulations to you. Let's see. We got Andrew said Ace is watching. Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me. Let's see. We got Jim. He says, wish we had a group like this in the UK. Well, we're there, my friend. We're in the UK because this is the internet, and that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Let's see. Boo, boo, boo. We got Deanna says, congratulations, Mike, buddy. We got Tasha says I've been clean for almost 3 years. Congratulations. Crystal, I'm sitting here at work with my 17-year-old coworker that is clearly on meth, and I have 13 years clean. I want to talk to her. I'm not great with the softer, easier approach. Any suggestions? Anybody want to hit that? Yeah, Nate.
Yeah, sometimes in those situations, you have to really look at what's really being received. So I think the best possible approach in any type of situation where the other person is under the influence is to meet them with kindness, compassion, and non-judgment. And if a window opens when you can assert some type of solution or option, then you do that. But if not, just be kind, be non-judgmental, because that was us not long ago. That's all.
Thanks, Nate. We have Lisa says, I've struggled with addiction most of my life. This week is year 1 of losing my love to it. Congratulations to you. 1 year. That's amazing. We got Albert says, I appreciate your help, Mike. I'm grateful for your story and congratulations, brother. We got, something is holding me back from getting to where I need to get in life. Find out what that is and get it off of you. You know what I mean? Get it off of you. I'll be 3 months on May 9th. Congratulations to you on May 9th. All right. Oh, wait, one more. I got 2 more. Sorry. Hello from Hernando Beach. Good to see you all. My mom's birthday and Mother's Day both coming this month, and it'll be my first time in over 10 years she'll have them with me being completely sober. Congratulations, Rudolph, man. That's amazing. And 2 years clean to Mitch. Congratulations to you, buddy. All right, man. I love seeing all this. So I'll go ahead and go because I can't go after those two coming here with that fire every week. And I don't know what's going on. They'd be drinking that Kool-Aid, I'm like, give me some. So freedom, man. This topic has come up a bunch in the last couple weeks. I listened to a podcast the other day and everybody thinks freedom is like, I get to do whatever I want, like that's true freedom is doing whatever you want. Well, I did whatever I wanted and it was never good. Right. It was never good. It was always party. It was a party. It was going to bars. And I thought that was life. That was what we do. And, now I'm in recovery. It's different, man. I don't have, I thought it was freedom from drugs and alcohol is what I was trying to get to. Right. And I got it. Right. I lost the desire to use. Right. But that I experienced that part of it. And now that I've gotten some time in recovery, now I'm having to learn because like when you first get in recovery, you get all these things back. You have all these tasks and what you want to accomplish and da. And then when you get all those things accomplished, it's like, okay, now what? Right. And I'm like, I was talking to Ito the other day and he's like, we're do guys. We're do guys. Right. Shitheads. No, we just do. And nonstop instead of taking care of this thing right here. Because when I'm doing stuff, this thing is tamed, right? When I'm not doing stuff, this thing is not tamed sometimes. So that's the true freedom is being mindful of my emotions, my thinking, my reacting, all of it. You know what I mean? How am I being when put into certain situations? And, Nate was discussing with me the other day, I think it was yesterday, maybe, that somebody told him that he is even keel all the time. And he really is. Like Nate really has this thing. He practiced this stuff, right? He really does. And I look up to Nate. I do, because I want to be even keel. I want to possess what Nate has, right? Even keel, but I have to be aware of my own shit to be able to work on it, right? And that self-awareness is key. Like without it, man, you're never going to experience true freedom, And so lately I've been, okay, so like this is my plan for the week. And if you see me on social media, smack me, right? I'm going to step away from social media for this week, right? I'm giving it a break. I did everything I needed to do for social media to be able to keep it going, right? But I need to do that for myself because I am mindlessly scrolling sometimes and I'm taking away from the stuff, the work I need to do because I end up mindlessly scrolling for no particular reason. Why? Because it's a habit. It's a habit that's not good for this guy because I need to train this motherfucker to do other things and to be able to be different, right? So I just want to be able to get away from that and start working on the actual work that it takes to be even keel. And I can't do that when I'm doing this. You know, I'm constantly doing it, and I've noticed it about myself, and I do it, and it's stupid. I do it in my emails. I go from emails to Messenger to Facebook. It's not just like everything. And then I go into video editing, and then I just get lost for hours in video editing. And it's not good sometimes, man, especially when I need to work on this. When I need to work on me, it's the last thing I'll touch. I'll touch social media and emails because mindlessly I'll grab it, my phone, and just be on it. So that's something I'm doing. I'm doing that. You know, that's just little things, man. Little things is what gets you to where you need to be and what's going to make the change happen, the little things, right? So that's why I thought this topic was good because it keeps being brought up. And it's freedom from self. It's freedom from this rat race in your head, from the chase, from, I mean, shit, man, you don't have to just chase drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? You could chase everything in your life if you let it. And sometimes it's just mindless bullshit. You know, what is your time being put into? What is the energy you're putting into stuff? What are you doing with it? You know what I mean? And I put too much time and energy in the wrong shit, and it gets away from us at times. And so now I'm being conscious of it, and I'm working towards it because I do not like where I am at. You know, I feel like a prisoner, and I'm not using drugs and alcohol. Go figure, right? And that shows me right there that I have lots of work to do. And putting one in me, it starts everything back over. You know what I mean? It's like go to jail. You know what I mean? Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You know, that's how I feel about it. You know, and so that's true freedom for me is being even keel, being present, and not have anxiety like crazy, because that's what I've been experiencing. So yeah, so that's what I got on that. I'm gonna read some comments, and then I'm gonna let Nate go. Yeah, with the Nate. Let's see. Crystal says, "Thank you, Nate. I truly appreciate the advice." We got Cass says, "Love you, Mike." Kinsey says, "Congratulations. I'm forever grateful for you, Mike, and all the times you talked to me through the rough days." Let's see. We got, Lisa says, "Guess I wasn't clear. My husband lost his life to addiction, and I'm so sorry for that. And I've got 4 months, but struggling." You guys hit her up in there, man. Comment on her, you know, see if you guys can link any women. And then if you want, you can message us. But you have 4 months. It's okay to struggle, you know, just get through it. Reach out. That's the best advice I got, man, because that's what I do. That's what we all do. Lindsay, fire if you ask me, Justin. Thank you. Let's see. We got Ali says, "Stepping back from social media is such a relief. It can literally consume you and drag you down. Such a simple form of self-love." Yes. And that's exactly what I want to do. I have to challenge myself, right? We don't grow unless we challenge ourselves. So I want to challenge myself to take a break from social media when everything we do is on social media. So it's really hard. I run a business. I run the Hope Shot. Like there's a lot of things that revolve around social media, but I have Business Suite. I don't have to mindlessly scroll. I can do what I need to do in Business Suite and not be on Facebook. You know what I mean? So there's a double-edged sword there. So I'm going to I'm gonna definitely do it. We got Rowan says self-awareness without action though means nothing. Speaking from experience, I'm struggling with this hard. I can see the consequences of every action. Let's see. We got Brett says freedom to me is simply being able to practice the most basic thing my higher power savior gave to us, the freedom of choice. I can make my choices without being powerless to a substance or having those choices driven by my addictive behaviors. Knowing my outcomes in life will be a direct result of those daily choices, and I freely make those choices. Exactly. Let's see. Rudolph, I so get the editing thing in social media, marketing, studying trends, who looks what. It can be overwhelming. And it really does. And it can get away from us, especially with keeping up with this day and age. Man, it's not good for mental, I'll tell you right now. Let's see. As we got Soul Support says, I do the same thing, Justin. I think I do that because when I start getting in the mindset, if you let it, I feel it's me reverting back to what helping me, because if you stay focused on the start, you'll take longer to reach the finish. Exactly. We got a bunch of let's see, we got Rebecca says, keep it up, guys. You're inspiring so many. Thank you so much. We appreciate all your feedback. We really do. It really helps us. Jenna says, thank you guys. This is my second Sunday on here, and I've got 80 days today, and I'm in recovery, but I'm struggling with self today. Well, I hope you get something out of this. I think no matter what, man, we all struggle in some form, some fashion with self. And sometimes it's worse than others. You know, I've been struggling hardcore too. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you got 80 days. Just keep it up. Let's see. Oh, we got Ricky says, I'm not a drug addict or alcoholic. My wife was killed by a drunk driver, and I hate alcoholics, so I wanted to kill the man who took her life. I pray and ask God why, and I couldn't heal. I went to see the guy who took her from me, and I said, I forgive you. It wasn't you. It was the alcohol. And now I helped drug addiction. I work with Drug Corp. That right there is just awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I just, we just talked about forgiveness. You know, I just had a reel on it, forgiveness, and it's not for them. It's for you. It's for us. So congratulations to you, my friend. All right, Nate Dow.
What's up, everyone? This is a very important topic to me, actually, and not probably for the obvious reasons, you know, because I'm sure if anybody's listened to before, know I spent, about 14 years altogether in the prison system, and and I think one of the biggest illusions is that freedom has to do with the physical, when it really doesn't have much to do with where I'm at, what environment I'm in. Freedom for me has everything to do with my state of mind and my state of being. It's all internal, because I promise you that I've spent many days out here not in prison and been in prison, if that makes any sense, completely in bondage, and be honest with you, a little bit more terrified than I would be if I was in prison, because so let me just let me take it back to the beginning, right? So freedom. I never really understood until I got into this deal and truly surrendered, just how in prison I was, and it had really, like I said, little to do with where I was at, and everything to do with how I saw things, how I saw the world, my perspective. I saw it through the lens of fear, of insecurity, of shame and guilt, and I had this constant. I was just had all this weight I was carrying, from all the things I did, all the things I didn't do, who I thought I should be, who I used to be, all of these ideas, and that I carried with me, that just really kept me sick for so long. So, I come into this, I come into recovery this time around. Like I said, I had 3 years prior to, you know, surrendering this time, and the majority of it, with the exception of a couple weeks, that I was in jail and bonded out, was actively using and drinking, right? And I promise you that prison to me was 10 times worse than any cell I've been in. I really discovered what it meant in that time to be a slave to not only alcohol and drugs, but a slave to this idea of that this was who I was, this is who I was going to be, and that there wasn't any other options for me. Sorry. All right, I'm back. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I was like just completely consumed by the idea that this was my lot, this was who I was, and there was no other options. I was unredeemable, unforgivable. It was there was no other options, right? So I come into this thing, and I am in so much pain. I am just desperate and pathetic, man, just completely vacant, and all I and my idea is that, okay, so all I have to do is put this stuff down, and I'm going to be okay, right? And what I discover is that if I put down alcohol and drugs, that's like 2% of my problem. Now I have the other 98% to address. So what is that other 98%? And that's like, for me, has been the difference between freedom or not, because I have I carry the same, being the same person into this thing that I was prior to putting something in my body, right? So obviously something led me to need that relief. That hasn't left me. So here I am, after 2+ decades of just decadence and ruining my mind, body, and spirit. And I get in here and I have this illusion that drugs and alcohol were my problem. They were a symptom of my problem, but my problem is I have this like spiritual void inside of me, and I have no connection, not only to myself, but to anything else outside of me, right? So, and I have this thinking, man, that is so twisted. Some literature will call it the peculiar twist, right? I have this weird thinking, man, that can make me feel I am less than, I am unworthy, that people don't accept me, and I can convince myself that I do not belong anywhere, let alone and being worthy of recovery. Like I feel like I don't deserve this, right? So what's the solution? What's the remedy? How do we get to that? Because I get in here and I put the stuff down, and I realize that I still have all this stuff going on inside of me, right? So how do we address that? We have to. I had to first of all, become self-aware, like Justin was saying, and whoever made that comment, it was completely right. I could be self-aware, I could know my problems, and you know what? I had an idea of what was wrong with me, during my whole run. I just wasn't ready. I was too fucking lazy, or felt I was unworthy enough to even try to do anything different. I never wanted to put in the work. More so, I didn't even know what the work was. I had no idea, right? And how could I know? Because I never really got vulnerable enough to ask for help, and if I did ask for help, I wanted to, like Cesar always say, dictate the way it looked. Oh yeah, but let me I'll do this, and I'll take this, and I might do a little bit of that. No. So I got to a point where I was just done, out of options, right? So I was ready for whatever suggestions came my way. And in that moment of surrender, when I had that brief window of opportunity and willingness, they all aligned. you know, who I believed in showed up, you know, and I truly surrendered this time. Only then, in that moment, did I really start experiencing freedom, and it happened pretty quickly, to be honest with you. And like Justin, though, the first freedom I experienced was that obsession, the hopeless obsession being lifted. And after that, I was like, wow, you know, okay, so there is something greater than me, because I know I couldn't figure that shit out for almost 20 something years. And so now I'm free of the obsession, but I'm left with the mess, you know. I am left with who I am, and who I am at that point is very, I'm broken, you know. I'm damaged, you know. Not to say I'm unrepairable, but like I am like a fractured soul, right? Better yet, I don't even realize if I don't even know if I still have a soul. So how do I figure this stuff out? First of all, I get vulnerable. I ask some guy, some dude I don't even know, to take me through this process, show me what it's like, you know. I connect to a group of guys, and you know, build a fellowship around me. I get, you know, I'm getting vulnerable, I'm getting uncomfortable, I'm doing, and I'm, you know, I don't like meeting new people, I don't like trying new things, you know. And in this process, though, I'm getting one step closer, right? And what I mean by getting one step closer is I made this shift, you know. I'm starting to make this shift, turning towards something different. And I'm telling you, like, even when you have the slightest shift, magic can happen. And that's what started happening for me. I got introduced to my spirituality. You know, I got introduced to this relationship I have today with my source. And I didn't buy into it at first, but you know what I bought into? I bought into that it changed this guy's life. I saw this guy who I used to run with was just like me and isn't anymore, you know? And so I knew this thing was real, and I saw the freedom in their life. And um, for me, that's where freedom truly began. My freedom is a direct reflection of my spiritual connection, you know, because if I am running on self, I am not free. And that is still true 5 years later. For me, um, anything that has to do with freedom has everything to do with who I believe in. My God, my source, my power, right? Because through that connection, I could finally let go. I could finally turn it over, in the sense that, you know, okay, I am not in control. You know, this is not my show. All I have to, my only responsibility is how I show up in my life for my higher power, for others, and for, you know, myself, right? So once I understood that, I saw the importance of practicing this thing, and I understood some things. I understood that how can I continuously experience this freedom, right? And I say it on here all the time, you know, I have to get busy, you know. I have to figure out how to contact and how to stay in contact with this source that has provided me not only freedom from an obsession, the freedom from the hopeless obsession of drugs and alcohol, but has also given me freedom from my own mind, from my own body, you know. And the only way I can do that is constant work. You know, I have to practice some daily disciplines, and not just sometimes. You know, I just not when it's all good, or not when it's all bad. This is something for me. This is just my journey. Like, you know, I have to get busy. I have to get on my knees and pray. I have to meditate. I have to write gratitude. I have to read daily devotionals. I have to call my people every day. I have to make myself available for service. I have to, you know, get to a couple meetings a week. I have to make myself available to newcomers, and I have to make myself available for my community and anybody in it. You know, I believe, you know, true freedom in my life, is runs parallel with this connection. And in that connection, for once, you know, I could finally, and this is the other benefit of this connection. For once, I can be myself, you know. And what greater freedom! I have hidden behind masks, behind outfits, behind bravado, behind reputation. I have hid behind all these personas, who you think I was, who I thought I was. I have been living a lie for my entire life, basically living in fear and insecurity of what you think of me, you know, completely imprisoned by another's perception, completely imprisoned by circumstance, external circumstance, by what this person says. Why, if this thing goes this way, if I don't get that, or if he gets that, you know, like I am in bondage of everything outside of me. So how do I break that bond? I look within, I find my own light, I connect to this power, and I get freedom in the most beautiful sense of the word, like to be myself, to be who I am, to be who I'm meant to be, and be unapologetic for my nature, you know, because I'm a sensitive guy, you know. I might be cut from a different cloth, but I'm very sensitive. I cry a lot, you know. I like playing Scrabble. I like romantic movies. You know what I mean? Like, I am who I am. And what freedom it is to be able to show up as that guy, and in my daily life, you know, unapologetically, you know. I've never, ever in my entire existence been able to experience that. And what a gift to be coming into my own. I'm how old am I? I'm 44 years old, man. I'm 44 years old, but I have like this childlike spirit because of the freedom I'm experiencing for the very first time in my life, which is to say, I don't still struggle, because I do. But guess what? My freedom from struggle exists in the same very thing that affords me the freedom in the first place, which is my fellowship, my daily practices, me staying connected. As long as I'm doing that in the interim, you know, no matter what, I can always come back, tap into this power, and have that same freedom. It doesn't mean life still doesn't happen. Yeah, and then let me real quick and briefly let me just touch on some of the other freedoms I get to experience. I get to experience, you know, passions that I only dreamt of. I was explaining this to someone the other day, saying, you know, I used to dream I'd be in solitary confinement. I just, you know, I would dream of surfing. I would dream of traveling, of going to shows, you know. I would dream of these things, you know, and they were so fantastical. It was so far out of reach for at that point in my life. Nevertheless, I still dreamt about them. And today I get to experience all those things. I get to live out my dreams on a daily basis. And those are just like the external ones. And because I'll tell you, man, that internal gift, that gift of the freedom from, you know, shame, the freedom from, you know, low self-esteem, low self-worth, the freedom from not feeling a part of, being less than. Thankfully, through this connection, through constant contact with my source and my friends, and you know, being in the middle of this deal, and constantly making myself available for service, I am able to experience freedom today in a way that I'm still learning. I'm still, you know, I'm still catching up. It's a gift, and I'm so grateful that I get to experience it with these people in my life today. I had the most beautiful weekend full of service and fellowship, and it seems to be like the common theme for my life today, you know, just connection, practicing these spiritual principles in my daily affairs, and yeah, enjoying life, and traveling and surfing, and, you know, just living and being myself in the process of that. That's what truly is freedom for me.
All right, man. Thanks, Nate. You see what I'm saying, man? Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and then you put me after that. Thanks a
I'm
lot.
sorry, Cesar. I just, dude, you be dropping them like it's hot too, and I'm like, yo, I don't know who to put first. I'm shit.
Hey, hey, Brent, don't count me out yet.
Yeah, not count. Hold on, see, let me read these comments. But Nate, I want to say something, man. The another thing that's been brought up to me in this past couple of weeks of searching to get out of that bondage of self, right? Because I'm doing it as we speak, there's been a lot of shifts in life, and sometimes you have to reevaluate, it's never like you're doing anything wrong. It's sometimes we have a shift and it changes our life up. And sometimes we get stuck, and we go downward a little bit, and then we have to bring ourselves back up, and it's okay, so don't feel down on yourself if you're experiencing the same thing. But living, not just existing. You know what I mean? Like, I existed for so long, and I just, it's time to live, man. And what I mean by that is like this right here. This is not living, being up in here in that rat race. So I just wanted to say that real quick. All right, let me read a couple comments to you, then I'll pass it over to you. So let's see. We have just a bunch. We got sober now. Good to see you, Melissa. Action. That's a broad answer. Through action can look like showing up or saying I need help when we can't practice what we preach. Amen. Yo, Melissa, we need to get you on Ladies Night at the end of this month. Last Sunday of the month. We need you up on there. It'd be cool to have you on there. I like the true yourself, Nate. Authentically, Nate. Truly a gift, Nate. Good stuff. Vern, thank you for sharing last week, my friend. I'm going to have a reel on him in a minute. My God, love y'all, man. Love you too, Vern. Let's see. Yeah, there's that one.
Stop it.
My first step of sobriety started when I realized my family still needs me. When I realized I still need to be here, I now meditate and pray, love little things I took for granted before. I can think clearly and feel fully again. Feeling and not being numb opened my eyes, which definitely opened doors. I only wish everyone in recovery or not could have a moment like that, or total self-reflection and realization of what I wasn't who I was. And now being free, it's not easy, but worth every step.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful. Let's see. We have Sober Now says she will come on. I'll come on as long as I don't ever have to go after Nate. Yo, don't you're giving Cesar anxiety.
Cesar don't have anxiety. Cesar,
I know.
Come on.
I know.
I'm following Cesar's lead. These are guys I look up to, Jesus.
Nate, I truly appreciate your help. Also, I really have gotten a lot from this meeting, and I'll definitely keep coming back. I'm new, so is this every Sunday or what time? Every Sunday, 8 p.m., no matter what, where we show up, no matter what. That's it. Cesar. Boom.
Guys, I mean, Nathan masterfully covered that. But, when I was out there, if I didn't lose my freedom physically, if I wasn't locked up, then I was living in my own prison, the one that I created through my actions, through my thinking. I had just heaps of guilt and shame. I never looked up. I never looked anybody in the eyes. I was always looking down at my feet. I didn't have anything to be proud of. I had told so many stories about who I was to please other people, or to get you to like me, or to look tougher because I was in prison or I was in jail or whatever it was. I told so many lies. I had completely lost who I was as a person. And I started getting loaded so young, I don't really know if I ever knew who I was as a person. So I come into this deal and I'm lost. And the funny thing is, I get court ordered to some meetings. And I immediately say, whatever this isn't for me. You know, like whatever you guys got going on here and these things that you got written up here on the wall that you talk about and spiritual principles. And I was like, I got a getting arrested problem. I got all kinds of problems, but spiritual principles aren't going to solve any of them. And I just completely ignore every solution that's offered to me, any help that's offered to me. Like Nate said, I want to dictate what the help looks like. Oh, you're going to help me out, but can you help me out with some money, or can you help me out with a place to stay? I'm not really looking to do step work or go to a meeting. But after enough of my own BS, I ran out of schemes. I ran out of lies. I ran out of just everything. And I ended up in this last facility. And somebody was kind enough to come in and share a message of hope. And the guy was the opposite of everything that I was. Physically, the way he looked, his age, but his demeanor. There was a lightness about this guy, like just easygoing, laughing, soft-spoken, everything that I wasn't. And it was the hardest thing I ever did was ask this guy, basically, can you show me how to live? Can you show me how to live sober? Can you show me how to live without putting something in my body? Because since I was about somewhere between 10 and 12 years old, I haven't known how to live without putting something in my body to change the way I feel, because I feel like so much crap about myself. And I'm so unsure of myself. And I'm so filled with fear that if I don't take something, I can't face life. And this guy starts walking me through this process. The deal is, I can't experience any type of freedom when I'm just buried in guilt, shame, and just lost and don't know who I am as a person. So I've got to, where I always thought that something external was the answer to everything. If I could just get this job, or if I could just get 90 days and get off this paper, everything will be all right. It was all BS. Nothing was going to be all right until I did internal work. And the first time I did internal work, I got the desired result. And it's not fun. It's not fun sitting down and looking at your life on paper, because my life's a shit show. I'm looking at all the people I hurt, all the lies I told, all the things that I've done. And I share this with this guy, and I'm going, oh man, this poor bastard. You know, it's basically writing my life story down and sharing it with somebody. And I didn't know at the time what I was doing, but this process, what I was doing was digging out all the shit that I was ashamed of, bringing it to light, talking about it, getting rid of the secrets that I held for years, the shit that held me back, all the excuses I used to stay loaded. Well, you'd get loaded too if you had to deal with this, and this. Then I turned around and went out and started facing the people that I wronged and making it right. For probably 30 years of my life, there was places I couldn't go, neighborhoods I couldn't go in. I had to worry about what I told this person. And if that person was in the same room with this person, I was going to have a problem. I can't run into these same two people in the same room, because I lied to everybody. And I told different lies to different people. Well, once I got far enough in this process, I took it serious. When I was going to go out and truly make amends to people, I took it serious. For so many years, I said, I'm sorry. That I was talking to my counselor in that facility. She's like, you've said you're sorry so much, it sounds like you're introducing yourself, like it's your name. Hi, I'm sorry. I'm sorry is not going to cut the bill anymore. So for me to truly experience any type of freedom in my life, I had to go through this process and get rid of the crap in me, empty it out, go make right the wrongs, and then I could move forward. until I did those things, I was never going to be able to become who I'm supposed to be, because I never knew who I was. So you fast forward, we used to joke around on here about being authentically awkward. The biggest freedom that I have is I'm comfortable in my own skin today. I don't have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. I'm cool with Cesar. And there was never a time before this recovery deal that I was able to say that. I would tell you whatever I thought you wanted to hear. Oh, you're into this, I'm into that too, or whatever it was. I'm me. I'm my authentic self every single day. And it's because of the process, and it's because of what I do on a daily basis that I can continue to experience that freedom. Because I promise you, if I stop doing it and I start telling little white lies here and there, and they become bigger lies, and I start cutting corners, I'm not going to feel good about myself anymore. And I'm going to start living a lie again. But that authenticity is something that I've never tasted in my life until I did this. And now I wouldn't trade it for anything. I don't want to be somebody else. I love who I am as a person. I have good self-esteem. I don't have to look over my shoulder to worry about who's coming. I don't have to check the front window every 5 minutes because I think the police are going to arrest me. I was always on the run, always on guard, always on edge, and all of that's gone. Now, if that's not freedom, I don't know what is. I'm free from my own self-imposed prison that I lived in for 30 years. And it's only contingent on a few simple things. I got to keep giving this thing back. I got to keep contact with my higher power on a daily basis and let him drive the car. And I get to ride around and experience the freedom. I don't have to take the steering wheel back. And I don't ever have to go back to a facility unless it's to go bring a meeting into that facility. I don't have to get locked up again. And I don't have to get locked up inside my head again. But like Nate said, this isn't like I was cured and, I'm free for the rest of my life. I have to continue on a daily basis to do what I did in the very beginning. Because if I get filled up with resentment again, and I get filled up with all the BS and the guilt and the shame again, the bag gets too heavy. I'm going to find relief one way or another. Hopefully I would find spiritual relief, but my past says that I'm going to find chemical relief. And Nate touched on it. It's he says, the drugs and alcohol are a symptom. The drugs and alcohol were my solution. That was my solution to life because I could not life without them. Today I can face anything. Nathan and I talk about stuff. I have some hard days. I have a tough job that requires me to make tough decisions and stuff that makes me anxious on a daily basis. And if I'm not guided by those spiritual principles that I learned, I could want to run away from some of the decisions that I have to make on a daily basis. Instead, I get to turn around and go, all right, what's the best thing to do for everybody but me, really? If I handle this thing the right way, head on, and this person over here, I'm treating them right, and that person, I'm treating them right, and I'm doing the right thing by the company, and I kind of leave myself out of the situation, then it turns out all right. If the thinking is the opposite, and what would be easiest for Cesar, it never turns out right. So, if you're new in this thing and you can't relate to anything that I'm saying, but you can identify with the problems that I was talking about, then you're in the right place. You just have to be able to make a decision to ask for help and follow through with that help without dictating what it looks like. It sounds so simple, but in our minds, it's the biggest damn thing in the world. And it's not that we think we're so smart. We think we can outsmart it, though. I don't know if Nathan will agree with this. For probably at least a good 20 of the years, I thought I'd outgrow it, outsmart it, outrun it. Eventually, I won't be like this anymore. And I found myself at 37, the exact same POS that I was when I was 22, when I was 18. So there's no time limitations on suffering, but you can make a decision today to end it. It's been the coolest experience of my life. The fact that I get to wake up in my own home and I get to live a life of authenticity, that I don't have to pretend to be somebody just to make you happy, is the greatest thing in the world. And the fact that I can be myself and not really worry about if you like me or not, I don't care if you like me, but it's only because I'm only doing the right thing. So if you don't like me, you don't like my tone of voice, you don't like my message, you don't like my bald head, whatever it is, I don't care what you don't like. I don't base my value off somebody else's opinion anymore. Other people's opinions are not my business. My business is, am I being the best example of recovery that I can be each and every day? Am I being of service to my community and to my fellows? Am I being a good husband and a good father? Am I doing what I believe to be God's work? And if I'm doing those things and you still don't like me, I'm sorry. I don't. It is what it is, man. You know, I'm not going to live in fear of other people's opinions. I'm not going to live in fear of losing something anymore. I'm not going to live in fear of not getting something that I want, because one of the promises that's been true is my higher power makes sure I have everything that I need. It doesn't say want, but I have everything that I need. And that's enough today. I don't have to chase the next great thing, the next biggest TV, the next nicest car. I don't chase anything except this recovery deal. And I know it's getting late, so I'm going to stop.
Cesar, man. You know, I don't know how anybody could not like you, bro. There got to be something wrong with them, bro. I don't get it.
Hey,
you make friends where you just show up to, and they just attract to you, bro. I'm telling you right now.
People have the freedom to dislike me if they want to.
They dumb, bro. I'll tell you right now. They ain't got freedom. Oh man, thank you guys, man. You guys rocked it tonight.
It was a good topic. Thank you, Justin, for bringing it up.
It's important, man. I'm telling you, it is so important to talk about that, man, because I don't know, man. I think it needs to be brought up every once in a while that it's not just drugs and alcohol. That's the freaking freedom. That's the easy part. It's crazy because at the time, newcomers, it's like, that's the hardest thing, is getting over the obsession to use. It was the hardest, and that's beginning. There's evolutions to this recovery deal. And, as we grow, man, we experience new ceilings, and we have to get through that next one, and it's never an opportunity to go backwards, but it's an opportunity to go up, level up, that's what I call it, leveling up. Oh man, I'm at another level. It's just hurting. I got anxiety and fears and all kinds of, man, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, hey, we're gonna close it up, man. It's past an hour. Mike, thank you for being here. Congratulations on your 9 months. Bald heads unite. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't know if on your screen, but on my screen, the bald head's on the right hand side, so it's nice. We're all lined up, looking shiny.
Bald is right, man. That's the way it goes.
Hey,
it's a natural order.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Antu. I think that's how you say it. 4/20/23 is her clean date. Congratulations for rocking that one.
Yeah,
and that's a fun one.
Journey. That's a good one to keep. It breaks down that stigma. And then we have Chadukes. She'll have a year on 6/5 and June 5th. So, thank you guys for being here tonight, for supporting us. And make sure you share this live feed if you haven't. Get it out there. You never know who might need to hear this tonight. And I challenge you this week, challenge you to do something to get you to to experience that freedom, there's always something we can work on, we can work towards. And like I said, I'm doing the social media kick. I'm sure there's plenty of things these guys are going to work on. It's either you're going to work on something, you need to get rid of something, or something's going on to experience true freedom from this thing or whatever's going on in your life. 1 year tomorrow, Stevie. Congratulations.
Yeah, buddy.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. So if you have something you need to work on, work towards it. This is your wake-up call. This is your opportunity, man. Tomorrow's Monday. Every week, let's start working on something, man. This week, let's try to work on something to experience true freedom.
Get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, because we don't grow in that area. Mike, make sure you stay on until after we log off. Everybody, don't log off until we're totally off. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next Sunday. Enjoy the week. Love y'all. See ya.